Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, and I'm back. I've come back to talk to you on a subject matter that's kind of surprising on the one hand and understandable or expected on the other. And that is that this is a presidential season. They just had Super Tuesday. This is 2012, and they had Super Tuesday last night. And Mitt Romney has a whole bunch of votes, and Santorum has another, and Newt Gingrich has another. And Ron Paul, who I think is the best out of all of these particular candidates, has no states. Got a lot of delegates, but no states. And only says he's best out of these candidates. He's by far not the best. And everybody thinks on the Democratic side that Barack Obama is going to have a smooth ride. But here's the thing that blows my mind. What I offered as a write-in. Write-in means I don't have any money, that if anybody votes for me, they're going to have to write my name in. And if I'm going to be considered in any state, somebody within that state must be responsible for making sure that I get recognition of being authorized to run in that particular state. Having no money, I can do only one thing, and that's put the voice out there. And if people got the spirit that's embracing to the voice, then I will be protected. However, it seems that one who offers like oxygen to every individual, God offers oxygen to every individual. Not to the black, not to the white, not to the men, not to the women, not to the Americans or another party, but to everyone. Everyone gets oxygen. Everyone. Everyone needs food, and the one that provided the oxygen left the responsibility of food provision in the hands of people. They all need it. They all need education. So you would think that everyone would get education. Everyone would have health care because they all need it. Everyone would get a job because they need to participate in the creation of the goods and services. That's a given. And so I am the only candidate who speaks of that. I'm not speaking to my conservative Republicans or my liberal Democrats or all of in-betweens. I'm speaking with the same voice that put the oxygen out there. And it seems as if people are not interested in that. It seems as if people are more interested in the fact that we have a system that says the lottery, everybody has an option to play the lottery if they want to. It's like, don't take away that option. Can't play the lottery. Leave it open so everybody can play. Yet, understanding that when everybody plays, there's out of 300 million people, there's only one winner. And everybody else is left in the same old track they were in. But the fact that they can play that lottery and lose is more exciting than a winner. And I'm thinking about, as a child, I grew up in the church, and I used to listen to people preach about Jesus. That fantastic Jesus made wine out of water, walk on water, feed thousands with a little bit, calm the storms, representing American people, human beings all over the earth. And I never could understand why people were slaves. I never could understand why people were sharecroppers. Other folks riding around in nice cars, other folks riding around in buggies. I could never understand that. And as I would grow older, I was saying, well, people don't know God. They've been trained to act a certain way. Like house slaves or field slaves. They both act, they're same color, but they act different ways because of experiences. And I said to myself that we, as young people at that time, when we grow up, because we were out there, what? Riding buses, freedom rides. We were marching in the streets, sitting in a counter saying, we're not going to take it anymore. This is wrong, and we're not going to take it anymore. Our ancestors might have, but it's over with us. I said, this group of people, when we come along, we're going to start representing God like Christ did. We're going to make sure that everybody got health care who needs it. We're going to make sure that everybody got decent housing, decent. We were going to make sure of that. And yet here I am, into my age, when I and my people, my group, should be doing that work. And I'm out here voicing, advocating, not just in the political process, but in churches and on street corners, on CDs and DVDs, on the internet, and totally being ignored. Totally being ignored. And just last night I was thinking, I was lying in the bed trying to sleep, and I was thinking about all the little children who need health care, who don't have it. I was thinking about the parents who are losing their homes, who are struggling to try to pay their rent or their mortgages and going through awesome difficulties. And I'm thinking about the politicians that's running, said something about the rich. I heard one man say he's all for the rich. He didn't say those words, but based upon what he was saying meant he was only for the rich. I heard people saying that they were for the middle class and this and that. But nobody said they were for the poor. Nobody said they were for that 99%, maybe let's say 89%. Nobody's speaking for those. And they get no voice. No voice. No politician is speaking for them. If anybody's out among that 89% speaking, they're not being heard. They're being squashed down like they don't exist. And so they're being led to believe that they have to go for one of these so-called, if it doesn't work for you, you call it a devil. If it comes close to working for you, you say it's a little devil. If it's a long way from you, you call it a big devil. So you say you have to go one of these ways. And yet, I'm sitting in the bed thinking, why can't you hear me? I know that it requires money in America to be heard. That's to keep you silent. So if you got anything to say, it won't work. See, God is not going to just put money in your hand. God gives you the spirit and the voice. And if anybody got the spirit, they will receive it. If they don't have the spirit, they won't receive it. So the American people do not have the spirit, and that's why I seem to be a voice in the wilderness with a murmur. And I sit there and I'm thinking, wow, what can be done? And then I'm reminded that Jesus Christ, for those of you who believe in Jesus Christ still, I know there are many of you who do not even believe in Jesus Christ. But for those of you who do, Jesus' message was the same message that I bring to you. That in the Father's house are many mansions. That the cattle on 1,000 hills. That get behind me, Satan. I'm not going with the system that you offer. I advocate for a different type of system. And you have been led to believe that that system is somewhere after you die. No, my friends. That system is wherever God is, wherever God lives. If God lives in you today, then that system that God represents began to live in the midst of the people through you. That enables you to walk on water. That enables you to make sure that the sick have health care. That the uneducated are educated. But here we go, perhaps thousands of years since Jesus' demise, and no one respects Jesus. And on Sunday mornings, turn your television station on, TVN. Everybody's talking about Jesus, and Jesus is talking about everything. Jesus is telling you, according to these preachers, to plant a seed, give them $1,000 and watch your bank account grow. Every little thing, just smile and everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. Just keep a happy-go-lucky spirit, even though you're hungry. Even though you're sick, tell yourself that you're not sick, because the God in you can't get sick. Tell yourself that you're not hungry, because the God in you cannot be hungry. Tell yourself that you're not uneducated, because the God in you knows everything. While you walk around hungry, sick, and dumb. They tell you that. And you buy it. Go out there. Open up these church doors. Watch all of these people saying, yes, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Amen. Falling across benches in some places. Speaking in tongues in some places. And the evidence of this mighty, magnificent God is all in their imagination. Because when they walk out there, some of them can't even put more than $5 worth of gas in their car tanks. Here again, some can't pay the mortgage, pay the bills. Kids are sick, not clothed properly like you would have them. And yet they were praising God, praising God. And who is their real God? Their real God is the state. They're talking about war. They've always been talking about war. They want to start unilateral war, says Israel, and want other nations, NATO, to come in and back them up. While another nation over there slaughtering thousands of people, and nobody can find any God in them to do anything about it. But they can find a God in them to support their interests. I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen, what in the world do you think you are? You are nothing but a slave. You are not free. You think like you've been trained to think. In fact, you don't think. You just recall what you've been given to recall. What kind of people are you that says, Lord, Lord, on Sunday? Get out and pray. How many of you preachers lay hands on people every Sunday and the people walk away feeling just like they felt when you put your hands on them? And yet the people out there in the congregation call you preacher. Listen to you and for your guidance. You got no power. The only power you got is the power of deception. Getting money from them so you can buy a nice car, buy a nice house or houses. Get yourself a boat. Get yourself a plane and travel across the world in partnerships with other rich con artists, sheep in wolves in sheep's clothing. Pretend like you're doing something. Lying to those people in other countries. When you go into other countries where people don't know Christ, and they hear you talk about Jesus and they hear you talk about God, they come to those conventions. They come to those meetings because they're looking for help. They're looking for a change in their lives. They're looking for something. And all you giving them are words and maybe some old hand-me-down boxes of clothes that you might send over there. But those governments are still ignorant of true life. The people are still ignorant of true life. And you going over there talking about Jesus. You don't know Jesus. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I know you don't like negative messages. You like for people to stroke you, tell you that you're fine, that you got it going on. But it's hard for me to do that. You are a misfit. You are a derelict. You who preach are, look, the only way I can think of mentioning to you is to curse you. But I'm not going to curse you right now. I'm going to leave that in my mind. But I can't, ooh, Lord have mercy. Is this the best you can do? And you got people out there who tells you, my pastor says that we'll always have the poor with us. Did he tell you why? Did he tell you that you'll always have poor with you because the people don't have any love in their heart? That means you, who can recite that, who can repeat that, you don't have love in your heart. Did your preacher tell you that? No, he didn't tell you that because he wants you to think that you're all right. And you think that you're all right because the system in which you live in appreciates you. Why does it appreciate you? Because you're not a threat. If you're in hell and you're led by God, you don't go down there and follow. You don't do like in Rome, do what the Romans do. When you go to hell and you're led by the Spirit of God, you don't go down there saying, well, I'm doomed now. I might as well fit in. No, you go to hell to change hell. In America, I guess the rest of the world too, but in America, there's a certain amount of hell running across the nation. And if you are led by the Spirit of God, it's not to fall in, don't rock the boat. It's not to be, don't contest the system. It's to change the system. And by all the life that you have in you, you cannot be satisfied until you see peace and justice flowing like a mighty rushing stream. How in the world can you accept anything other than that? Now, I'm a black man. I'm a product of slavery, sharecropping, coming from absolute poverty. How can I stand up here and tell you this when white people who have prospered all their existence in this particular country, who got big nice trucks, who pull up to the gas pump, put in $100 worth of gas, go and take out $100 from their bank accounts and leave their receipt there so the next person coming along who pull it out and see that they got $150,000 in their checking account when they got nothing. You think that a white man would be telling you this? Mitt Romney is a white man. He's not telling you this. Newt Gingrich is a white man. He's not telling you this. Santorum is a white man. He's not telling you this. Ron Paul is a white man. He's not telling you this. Barack Obama is a black man, the president of the United States. He's not telling you this. And what I'm telling you are not my words alone. They are the words of God. They are the words of Jesus Christ. They are the words of your own desire and your own spirit. But it's no good if you don't put some hands to it. It's no good if you don't put some mouth to it. It's no good if you don't put some feet to it. It's no good unless you put some way of life to it. Now, could I call you a big hypocritical nation? I don't think I have to say that. What I have said to this point is the absolute gospel. And you know it's the gospel. But your training perhaps will not allow you to do anything but to continue to step in the same tracks that my and our ancestors made, walking according to the powers that be. Woo-wee! I look at the little children in preschool, in kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school. They are your leaders of the future. They are the ones who are going to teach schools. They're going to be your doctors. They're going to be your healthcare providers, your community leaders. They're going to be the ones that do today what we are doing. And will they be able to do better than we? If I judge it based upon what we did in response to what our ancestors did, I can only say that tomorrow will be worse than today. I don't care what you think. I can only say that tomorrow will be worse than today. Why? Because people will be selfish, and more selfish. And the only times they can come together is when disasters occur. When the storms, not just of life, but the storms of the weather, tears and destroys their cities and their towns, rip their schools apart and take their churches somewhere and throw them in the lake. When the houses that they live in are no more. When the food shelves that used to be are gone. And you can bet your life when that time comes, another power is going to be ruling you. You're already being ruled by a foreign power. But at that time, who can protect you? Your military won't be sufficient. I heard today somebody say that if Iran gets the nuclear weapon, that it will be too late. I want to remind you that every nation that sought after getting a military might such as the nuclear weapon, everybody said it would be too late if they got it. And yet, everybody got it. And nobody has used it but America. If Iran gets it, it will be too late. What kind of dealing is that? I say to you, if Iran gets it, and it's too late, you make sure it's too late for the world. Kill all of us. But I guarantee you, the way we love life, nobody will be pushing a button. And everybody will be free from the threat of nuclear war. Why? Because everybody wants to live. Maybe I'll call this my subject matter. Everybody wants to live. But you're on the path to destruction. You better wake up and do it soon. Bye-bye.